Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Sunday, the 25th of October. I hope you're all having a fantastic Labour weekend, everybody. Solo show again today, so let's try and get through all of the important sports news. You start your day the best way, up to speed. In the news today, we will have a look at the Giro d'Italia and Valletta España, as well as talk about netball, have a look at UFC, also have a talk about the motor racing, and obviously catch up on the rugby as well. And let's start your engines and head off over to motor racing. And this weekend, in Formula One, we have the Portuguese Grand Prix, where Lewis Hamilton will again start on pole ahead of teammates Valtteri Bottas, with Max Verstappen in third place. Remember, last race, Lewis Hamilton equaled the record for number of Grand Prix victories held by Michael Schumacher. So we'll see if he can take that lead outright after this weekend at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Over in supercars, and Team Penske have pulled out of supercars for next season. With Scott McLaughlin is moving over to race IndyCars full time, as was expected. But it wasn't expected that Team Penske would be pulling out after 6 years in the Formula. Dick Johnson Racing. I'm very sorry, I forgot to mute there. I got the wrong button. Dick Johnson Racing, their partners will be continuing in the sport. Haven't announced their full setup there. Moving on then, also this weekend, we'll see Scott McLaughlin's first IndyCar race with the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Also, because the championship is coming down to the wire as well, will Scott Dixon be able to take or close out the victory, or will Joseph Newgarden overhaul him after it was a very good start to the season for Scott Dixon? Moving on then to the netball, and we had the finals of the Cadbury's tournament in New Plymouth. First up, we saw New Zealand A beat New Zealand under 21s 68 to 47. A good victory there for them. Now, in the games up until this point, we have seen the Silver Ferns in particular, and obviously therefore New Zealand A, rotate their players to give everyone an opportunity to show their skills ahead of the England series. What we saw yesterday, though, was that they settled on basically their starting team, and the Silver Ferns played New Zealand men in a very closely fought game that sounds like an absolute cracker. It finished 55-50 to the Silver Ferns, their first ever victory over the New Zealand men. So clearly they're in very good form ahead of the England series coming up. Obviously with a settled team. Look, they played very patient netball in their build-up, in their attacks, which saw them get into the lead. A few mistakes by the New Zealand men saw them fall back in that one. So congratulations to the Silver Ferns on their first ever victory over New Zealand men in the netball. Over in the Valletta España, and Primož Roglič eked out a couple of seconds over his rivals on stage 5. Dan Martin unfortunately crashed in the stage, but still managed to hold on to his placing overall, losing, as say, a couple of seconds. He's now 4 seconds behind Primoz Roglic. For the actual stage winner, it ended up being a 3-man sprint for a small group that had broken away from the leading contenders, and Tim Wellens took that victory for Lotto Soudal. So congratulations to him. Over in the Giro d'Italia, and boy, oh boy, it is all getting very tight over there, with Hindley and Gaio Tadenhart both on the same time in the lead of that one in the general classification. Where Theo Gegenhardt won at stage 20 up to Sestriere, out sprinting Jai Hindley and using the bonus seconds to claim to close the gap. As we saw Welko Kelderman, finish 1 minute 35 back in that one. That means that, as I say, Jai Hindley leads overall, but is on the exact same time as Theo Gegenhardt, and Wilco Kelderman is 1 minute and 32 back. Pello Bilbao in 4th place, and Yael Almeida still in 5th, but he's 3 minutes back now. With the time trial to come, it's going to be a really interesting battle, intriguing battle between both Theo Gegenhardt and Australian Jai Hindley in that one. So yeah, cracking day in the mountains for the Tour de France. Start off for the Giro d'Italia. It's also UFC 254 this weekend, with the lightweight championship being the headline fight in that one. It's Khabib Nurmagomedov against Justin Gaethje in that one. Justin Gaethje is the interim title holder in this one, with Khabib is the was the holder. This is the unification fight for this one, and should be an absolute cracker between those two. So looking forward to bringing you the results of that one tomorrow in UFC 254. We'll also have a quick look at the undercard as well tomorrow on that one. Over in the rugby then, and Canterbury won the Farah Palmer Cup semi-final against Auckland, and so we'll be going into, we'll be hosting the final next weekend. That will be against either Waikato or Manawatu Cyclones, who are playing in the second semi-final today. Canterbury beat Auckland 36-21 in that one to win that. They're leading 17-8 at half-time, with Coxich actually missing a couple of kicks, which could have stretched it out even a little bit further. They pulled out to a 29-8 lead early in the second half. Auckland showed good spirits to pull it back to 29-21, but could not really get any closer than that. Over in the Mitre 10 Cup, and I was at Bay of Plenty versus Canterbury yesterday, so you can check out my post-match interviews with Joe Webber and Kurt Eklund on our Facebook page, New Zealand Sports Radio. And Bay of Plenty really blitzed Canterbury in the opening 20 minutes to take a 20 odd point lead in that one. Canterbury fought back, and actually the Bay of Plenty failed to put on any more points in that in the sort of second 20 minutes. But in the second half, with the wind at their back, Terry Black played some real good tactical play, kicking to the corners, pegging Canterbury back and making them play out of their own half, and that told as Bay of Plenty just stretched out to win that one. Hawke's Bay then defended the Ranfurly Shield with a comfortable 47-12 win over Manawatu in that one, and they'll be travelling up to Tauranga for Battle of the Bays next weekend. So yes, Bay of Plenty versus Hawke's Bay next weekend in Battle of the Bays. Hawke's Bay have got one more defence of the Ranfurly Shield this year. That'll be against Wellington. North Harbour played Auckland in Battle of the Bridge last night, and boy, that was a cracker, finishing 23-22. Congratulations to North Harbour in holding out against Auckland in that one. They were trailing 9-15 at half-time, but 2 tries to Little and Tolai put them into the lead. A late try by Kiriawani made it a 1-point game, but Simon Hickey's missed drop goal as time was running out meant that North Harbour got the victory there over their local rivals. Also, we've got international rugby going on. The Women's Six Nations is back to finish off their games. So Ireland, Italy are playing currently, and it's 7-7 in that one. In the men's side of things, we saw Scotland take on Georgia with a comfortable 48-7 win over Georgia. Georgia never really looked in that one. Overnight, also, Ireland beat Italy in the Six Nations 50-17. I've not seen or read any reports on that one. And coming up in just at 8 a.m. this morning, we'll have France versus Wales, and a warm-up for their Six Nations. Don't forget the England-Barbarians game has been cancelled. Over in Super Rugby, and the Pumas lost to the Stormers 37-42 in that one. Unfortunately, the Lions versus the Cheetahs has been cancelled, but the Bulls are beating the Sharks 29-14 currently. So lots of rugby going on. As well as that, we also have the Pro 14, and the Premiership final. Actually, the Premiership final is live right now. It's in the second half, an extra winning that one 13-10 over Wasps, who obviously are missing players due to COVID issues and also injuries to players such as Fekitoa as well. You have now started the day the best way up to speed with all the important sports news. Have a fantastic day, everybody, and enjoy your long Labour weekend. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with the morning sports briefing.